here is one of the topics of discussion that a lot of Viking fans have been talking about since Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. So let's talk about it, and I'm gonna give you my full, unfiltered opinion. It's been a few days since the Vikings played against the Cleveland Browns, and we still don't have any clear update of what actually happened with Jordan Addison, which is kind of weird, right? Reports keep saying that the Vikings could not contact him. They didn't know his whereabouts. And basically, he missed a whole team walkthrough before the game. And y'all know how Kevin O'Connell feel about his practices. I mean, he basically called out JJ McCarthy for having a baby and missing practice, which was kind of weird to me, but that's a topic for another for another day, which is wild. So this basically like Jordan Addison just dipped and he couldn't be found. I mean, some people speculate he was partying, maybe he was drunk, maybe he overslept, but we really don't know. And what's coming out of Minnesota isn't a lot to actually, base an opinion on. So I'm just gonna keep moving and just say, like, hey, we saw the end result. We saw him get benched for the first quarter. Then we saw him come in, get a groove and actually, catch the game winning touchdown. I mean, that's what we saw. But I feel like the conversation has shifted a little bit. And this is what I mean by it. You got some people out there in Viking world basically saying that the Minnesota Vikings should explore to trade Jordan Addison in the upcoming offseason. Like, I get it. I understand where that comes from because I say this a lot. Like, you cannot let your off the field issues outweigh your talent and what you do on the field. I'm not saying that Jordan Addison is there right now, but what I'm saying is, hey, let's just pump the brakes a little bit because we really don't know like what it was and what actually happened in London. So, but here's my take. Addison is arguably one of the best up and coming young receivers in this league, and he hasn't even hit his prime yet. Yes, the off the field stuff is a concern. He was suspended early in the year, 3 games for the wet driving or whatever you want to call it, DUI, out there in Los Angeles. And it is what it is. So it's kind of weird that him knowing that he's just back getting with the team after serving, 3 game suspension. He only played 1 game, and then they in London, and then he gets disciplined again. It's a bad look, and let's be honest about that. It really is. But you can't assume that you're gonna get a person of Jordan Addison's caliber within the draft or free agency. Just look at what happened with Laquon Treadwell. He was supposed to be a jump ball target, never really saw the field. And his whole career has been like a practice squad guy. Look at what happened, with Troy Williamson. He was a burner, but he couldn't catch. I mean, I get it. I understand it. Like the off the field issues has to stop. But this is a nugget that I gotta put in y'all ear right now. Maybe the Vikings can construct a contract that's conducive to, Jordan Addison. And what I'm saying with that is maybe they can have a contract to where they can structure it to a point to where if he does anything off the field, gets suspended again, or gets arrested, or anything that's pretty much major, then he voids his fully guarantees, and the Vikings have an out within that contract. Maybe they can do that, but to say let's go into the offseason and trade him, nah, let's not do that right now. The kid's still young, and I still think he has a lot of growing up to do. But there's a difference between the DUI and not coming to practice, especially when we don't have a lot of information on that. But it is what it is. So let's keep it moving. And I know this is the topic that a lot of y'all want to talk about.